hell, y'all? What the hell? Why? What is happening? You've gifted us now some to my son. Oh, did LT get one? Oh, U-Turn got one. I actually haven't seen U-Turn in here in a while, huh? Holy shit, y'all. What is happening? Why are we youthful? I am so confused right now. I'm just here watching gift subs happen and I'm so confused. Thank you all so much for... Hold on, let me go back up here and check. Gift to RG0. Gift to Man named Mars. First one from Blood, second one from Dark. Then Dark gave out 6 more because you're insane. To a free one to Casalinuovo. Nate Chromancer, Galaxius. Why am I struggling with these? Dimmy, U-Turn, CRT Beaver, and Erdeline Dullahan. And then Blood again to Boothberry. Jeez, y'all. Your son is busy, he graduated high school and you think he's going into the service. Ah, that's fair, that's fair. I mean, I know that I saw him up until I took my break. Up until I went on hiatus, I saw him basically, maybe not every stream, but most streams. And then, I don't know, when you take a break like that, you just lose people. Like, that's a thing. It's like, suddenly you're no longer the one that they go to all the time, and so they just end up somewhere else or whatever. But then also if they're busy, then that's also a thing. Not as automatic as it used to be. That's fair, that's fair. No, I knew he was young and I knew he graduated high school, but that's, yeah, it's cool. But thank you all so much for the gifts. For, I think that's 10 so far today. I got nothing, but thank y'all so much. Enjoy your, what is the event? The event is like Pokeballs or something, where you gift something and then there's also like, if you gift 5, you get an extra one for somebody else gets a sub for free. I don't know. I don't know. I know they made something. Milk and Dysphorios. Excellent name. Excellent name. Hi, how are you? Eventual Pokeballs. Ah, eventual Pokeballs. Got it. Also, let's go up to the top and before I get completely distracted by all of the everything. Welcome RG0. Am I pronouncing your name right? I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it either right or mostly right, but I'm not 100% sure. But hello, congrats on first. Also, hi Blood, who's being a rascal. Hi Dark, who's also being a rascal. Hi Panda. I'm waiting through this. Hi Youthful. Hi Milk. Hi Casser. Yeah. You saw a Pokeball, you gift sub. That's fair. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Oh god dang it. That is in fact how they get you. That's how they get Casser too. Hi everybody. Lizard. Alright, so now congrats to Goldfish 00777, Draculus, Kunoichi Penguin, Milk and Dysphorios. Hi, you're here. Wraithwall and Kitchesh. Thank you all so much. What is this? Is this a... I'm waiting for the thing to stop. It's a level 5 hype train. Alright. I wasn't expecting to be here, but thank you so much. A Master Ball? You threw a Master Ball and didn't catch me? I'm just that talented. Also, I'm not a Pokeball. Alright, sorry. I am not in fact a Pokeball. I'm not a Pokemon. So there is nothing in the lore that indicates that a non-Pokemon is always caught by Master Ball, but you can certainly try. And I expect you to be fair. You did get a sub. But how is everybody doing? It is Monday, which is usually miserable day of the week, but we are starting off this Monday hot. Thank you all so much. You could have sworn that the Master Ball does fail once in a blue moon. It does. So even, I believe even the Master Ball has the 1 in 256 mischance. Like every single move in that game does, which is bullshit, but I'm pretty sure it does. And I don't remember. After who knows how long you get an Evie sub. Well, normally, okay, so normally, I don't have people gifting as many subs as they have recently. Y'all have been nuts since I got back. I've been back a week, and you keep doing this, and I keep being like in response. I've been missing a month. I mean, it's true. It's true. I have been missing a month, but I'm like, I don't know. Thank y'all. I mean, to be fair, between subathon and now, I really haven't had that many gifted subs out, except for like specifically in my birthday, and so there's a decent amount of regulars here, and so like, you know, it's not always easy to get gift subs, especially if you're like not active. I feel like it's more likely if you are active in chat at the time that the gift subs are given, which is like impossible to control. Like obviously, if you are there when the gift subs are given out, you're much more likely to get one. At least you are now. It didn't used to be that way. But I'm pretty sure you are now. So like you just have to happen to be there when there happen to be gifts going out, and then there you go. Easy. You just have to always be here. Clearly, obviously. Don't listen to me. It's the interest in lost monetization while I was away. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you all so much. It's crazy that Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow even function. The games are held together with gumdrops, popsicle sticks, and good intentions. I think they're also held together by bad intentions. It's not just good intentions. There's nothing good intention about Mewtwo. And if you've watched any of the movies, there's nothing good intentioned about either Articuno, Moltres, or Zapdos. So basically, like, the backbone of that entire generation is bad intentions. The entire backbone of it is problems. Hi, Aska. You've seen how easy arbitrary code execution is in that game? Wait, is that how they do catch-em-all runs? Is that how they do catch-em-all speedruns, is by Ace? Because I know that they do some weird shit in the Gen 1 catch-em-all speedrun is like an hour and a half long, which is nutty. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Another 100 bits. Have some biddies for the hype train. Thank you. Thank you. The CCACC glitch? I have no idea what that is. Yeah, missing no is just the tip of the iceberg. Missing no is the reason that all of the other things, or rather, it's a symptom of all of the other things wrong. And it can create other batshit insane things. All right, what I get from the thing? Is that a balloon? Is that a heart kitty balloon? Let's go. Thank you all so much for the level 5 hype train on a random ass Monday. Thank you all so much. It's a kill it's a kill glitch that ends the world, for lack of a better term. Oh, good. Gen 1 deserves to be ended. Someday, I'm currently working on scripts for a lot of these things, but someday I'm gonna be putting together a like tier list of Pokemon gens for a short. Gen 1 is dead last for me. It is dead last. And I think a lot of that is just because it is a buggy, glitchy mess that it sets the stage for everything else, but my god, does it not do things very well. You missed the Pokemon talk that you don't understand? That's fair. That's fair. I mean, in fairness, there's Pokemon talk that somebody doesn't understand. Sometimes me. I often don't understand it either. There's Pokemon talk that people don't understand. Everybody every stream. It is not possible to be in an Evie Sylkas stream and not have it devolve into some kind of Pokemon chatter at some point. Usually in some kind of a yappy format, whatever, but like, at some point it goes there. There's a tiny Evie rabbit in the corner that you just noticed? Yeah. I forgot to move it this time. You know what? We're gonna move it. She's gonna get moved elsewhere. Hold on. Where did I put it? Where'd I put her? She's here. She's here. She gets, part of the bit is that she moves around every stream. And so now she's gonna be up here. I forgot to move her on my other scenes, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeet the Evie. Well, that's what redeems her for. Speaking of which, since we are here now anyway, I have begun to make a couple changes in terms of the expensive redeems. So I will remind y'all at a later point in this particular Yappy session thing. VIP as a channel point redeem is getting phased out.
Lizard.
It's just Lizard. It's just better that way. At some point, I'm gonna run out of VIP slots anyway, and I don't want to have to worry about like, oh, people are trying to save up for a thing they literally can't ever get. So I'm going to phase it out. However, I know that some of y'all have obscene amounts of channel points. Hi, Blood, I'm looking at you. Some of y'all have absolutely obscene amounts of channel points. So, ow, Pigments, I know you have a bunch too. So, what we're gonna do is I've introduced 2 additional channel point redeems. They are expensive. They are expensive as shit, but they are a like long-lasting thing that will always be on the stream as long as I have throne redeems. And if I no longer have throne redeems, then I'll figure something out. But for a bunch of channel points, you can add a Pokemon to the pool of the throne mons. And for a lot more channel points than that, you can add a scare quotes Pokemon to the pool of Pokemon things. So you can add basically whatever you want with 70,000 channel points. If you get that many channel points and you want to burn them all in one place, there you go. I will allow you to do so. I might drop them by some amount of... Know anybody by the name of Chiyoko Rin in this community? Well, they just joined the Discord, so if they're asking you if they're doing the unsolicited commissions, whatever, tell them to go bugger off, and hey, Blood, can you kick them? Okay, so it's gotten to a point. If I don't know the person that joins the Discord, generally speaking, one of us, it's either myself, Katie, or Blood, will message the mod chat in my Discord. Yes, that exists. No, we don't talk about most of you most of the time. One of us will usually message that chat and go, hey, by the way, new person showed up. What do you want to bet they're a bot? And would you look at that? Within 2 hours, they're getting what you mean most of the time. I don't know. You say that. Release the Evie file. I don't actually think we don't gossip in there. It's fine.
What a lovely face.
Thanks, Minoko. I agree. The Evie situation. I forgot about the Evie situation. Oh no, what have I done? local donut chain got apple cider and pumpkin donut. Local donut chain? It's freaking August. It's not time for pumpkin spice yet. You will never forget about the Evie situation. I never forget about it, but it just sometimes like slips my mind. It's just like sometimes it's like poof. Mostly because I have 7,000 other things going in my mind at one point. Are we canceling Evie for this time? Also, hi Winter. It was I think the origin of the Evie situation was myself and Rose playfully drama-llamaing each other in the Elemental Stars introduction stream, where we were like, I'm a create drama with you, and then we just kind of took it from there. I'm pretty sure that's what we said. It was very silly. It means nothing. There is an Evie situation, but the Evie situation is not a problem. The Evie situation is just what you see on the daily that is, you know, kind of dumb and silly and whatever. Yeah, that's that. It also became a short. It became a thing. In a good way. Probably. To me, it became a good thing. But no, it's a thing. Dragons are known to be scammed by creatures such as Milkbot. That was kind of targeted. That was a little bit targeted there. Yep. Interesting. But no, it's like it's just silly things. And I'm here for it. It's also every time I say something remotely sus, or anytime I like start bullying the chat, like when I start bullying Darkman on the regular, like, you know, it deepens the Evie situation. You know what you did. Also, you said you were saying something about, hold on, you were saying something about Pal World something? Hold on, I saw you say a thing. Hold on. Never mind. I'm just like whatever. I'm not scrolling up in the chat anymore. But yeah, silly things are best things. Dunkin' being a national chain does not wait, especially when there's crap Starbucks coffee to embarrass. Well, yeah, but they're like neither of them are like worth talking about. Let's be completely honest. They're both, neither of them are like stellar. Like, I would much rather go to a local coffee shop than either of those. The problem is that there's like 17 Dunkins for every whatever one. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We can cancel Evie for everything. Yeah, except please don't. please don't. I do my best to stay away from the drama, which is why we create fake drama that is not harmful to literally anyone. And then we do silly things with it. It's fine. You're gonna mod your Pal World to include me in the game so I can catch you. Oh, all right, that's fair. That's fair. I will say, I have been reading, if any of you are aware or are familiar with the manga Ruri Dragon, I've been reading that, and by reading it, I mean binging the shit out of it. And I just look at most of that manga, and I'm like, oh, that's my backstory. Huh. Interesting. Well, I love that freaking manga. It is so good. It's so good. Your computer has decided that Twitch is evil, so 480p Evie it is. To be fair, if there's ever a time for 480p Evie to be a thing, it's now. We're just yapping, and we'll be yapping for a while. You'll eventually probably want that to be slightly higher when I start playing Donkey Kong Country, eventually, but we're not anywhere close to that yet. No, it's so comfy. It's so comfy. And it's also like, I'm at like a chapter 40 or something. I really like that it's strayed away from a lot of the things that a lot lot of manga tend to fall into. Like, it hasn't gone anywhere near romancy kind of stuff. It hasn't cheapened or gimmickified, I guess, the main theme of the whole thing, and it has treated the entire plot arc very seriously and very logically, which is something that does not usually happen. It is very much a high school girl doing high school things, but at the same time, it's like it looks at all this stuff and says, you, girl, have a shitload of responsibility now. How are you gonna handle it? And the answer is, well, we're working on it. And it's great. A lot of stories have romance or romance bait shoved in for no reason. It's, yes. And, like, I love me a good romance. I love a good romance. But it has to be the intent is romance. Or we start with one romance and then we go into something else. I love the Rascal Does Not Dream series because of the way they handle the romance, where you have the two getting together right off the jump. And then the other 11 or 14 or however many light novels and however many chapters worth of manga, because there's a lot of them, and then you have the entire rest of the series as a, all right, cool, they're together. Now we do plot things. Now we handle all of this other things. Now there's all of this other weird shit going on. And the fact that the two of them are together is like, cool. It's cute. It's adorable. It's great when they get to go on dates. But on the other hand, the main focus of the everything is adolescent syndrome. It's just that. But yeah, Rascal Does Not Dream is a phenomenal dub. Although I will say, most of the cast of Rascal Does Not Dream does a whole bunch of other dubs, and everything that studio does is good. To be fair, dubs have come a very, very, very long way in the last, 5 years, and it got to a point before I kind of stopped watching anime for the most part of, if it has a dub, it's pretty much good. It's pretty much good. I never thought, with small exceptions, and those exceptions are where my knowledge of Japanese is helpful, the kind of Gabriel Dropout style, everything is suffused with puns and jokes and kind of silliness. Aside from shows like that, and even that, Gabriel Dropout has a pretty decent dub. Aside from shows like that, they're all pretty, they're all solid. Ignoring when they're done by actual people. When they are done by actual people. Yeah. You can count the pixels. Chat is illegible. 07. 07 to you. And dysphorias. But yeah, a lot of the romances aren't good. But sometimes you just need a fluffy romance that isn't very good to just kind of get you through a day. Sometimes that's all you need. Even the last 5 years, you thought they were great as far back as 2007? They were... I didn't watch anime back then, but I do, from what I know, dubs were incredibly hit or miss before, 2015. And then starting in 2015, it started to be okay, we're getting better at these. There's more of them, and there's more voice actors that, I don't want to say care, because that's not exactly the right word, but there's more voice actors that kind of specialize in it, or are doing more of these, and so you end up with more experienced voice actors in the media. So they start getting better, and then once you hit 2020, it's yeah, you're good. If it has a dub, it's good. I'm not as low yet, but ever since before summer, your download speed has gotten horrible, so you've been living in 360p streams. That is pain. Okay, but Winter, you stream. How are you streaming if you have to watch in 360p? Huh? Huh? Your favorite anime is Sailor Moon. You watch it subbed, so you don't know much about the quality of dubs. I mean, it's just something because, like, I prefer watching dubs if they're there, and it's not like a very specific case of this sub is like it's usually the subject matter is more relevant in Japanese than it is in English. Like there's some amount of something that makes it better, different. I don't know the best way of putting it, but yeah, your upload speed is way better than download right now for some reason. I have so many questions about your ISP. Namely, why they're throttling you. Why would they do this to you? You're just a little ice twaggo. That is very noodly now. And can be given googly eyes, which is the best part. If you've never been in a Winter Gust stream, he streams before I do, so you don't have to, like, you just go from one to the other. But, if you're ever in a Winter Gust stream, be sure to redeem the googly eyes emote. Make sure to give him googly eyes at any point in time at all times. You will not be disappointed. You've been guessing that it's because you're still waiting for fiber, just living on mobile connections. There's a lot of vacation houses nearby, so maybe a lot more activity on downloads while uploads is more rare to lose. The googly eyes are great. They're even better on the full dragon. They're absolutely better on the full dragon. See the full dragon with the derpy eyes. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Could be interference in the wireless network. Possibly? I know that. Okay, so if y'all remember back in Subathon days, where I was having pretty much constant internet issues, there was a lot of things that I was working with Blood about on a lot of this, and there was they gave me a lot of suggestions regarding, like, checking interference, checking proximity to others, checking if your particular connection was in its own slot in some, like, there's a whole lot of things that I do not understand. I don't know how this works. I am not a network expert in any way, shape, or form. I was baffled and confused when my internet just decided, no, we're not going to work. So I was very frustrated about all of this. I was not the one solving the problems. Ended up we just had to get a new router. Like, we just literally had to call up our ISP and go, yo, give me new modem, thanks. And they usually do, but yeah, I don't know. I was not being throttled, thankfully. And we had fiber, which is why it didn't make sense. But I mean, mine was also upload. We had our download, like, deteriorated a little bit from here and there, but it wasn't like a problem. We just kind of needed to reset our meshes so that we could do all the things, but, like, it was just packet loss. For me, the streaming issues was packet loss, which is a completely different problem than what you've got. So I'm just going on this long diatribe of basically saying I don't know what the issue is. I don't know how to help the issue. 2.4 can be affected by something as simple as turning on a microwave. Lots of things use 2.4. 5G, well, yes, less used and more powerful, works on a shorter range, can't penetrate walls well, so not good for Wi-Fi coverage. I also generally wouldn't recommend using Wi-Fi if you can help it. Like, mine's wired. Well, mine's wired with an asterisk because I use meshes, so we anchor the mesh the unit, and then I'm hardlined into the mesh, so it works. I have two computers. I can't just plug in. It doesn't work that way. But I have it as close to that as I can, and it works fine normally. While we're on this discussion though, I will say, when I was having all of the internet problems, whenever I'd look at my bitrate in Twitch, so like if any of you have never streamed before, the Twitch dashboard, or if you've streamed and have never looked at your Twitch dashboard, which if that's the case, I have questions. I have questions because I look at it literally all the time. But there is a bitrate monitor that is there, and when I was having issues streaming, you would have, before I moved, and specifically before I switched to having vertical mode enabled, so before last week, the bitrate, assuming nothing was going wrong, was generally a flat line. It was easy to tell. There was no issues. When I started gaming, the bitrate would go up and down a little bit. It's like, that's fine. But whenever I was having issues with my internet, I would have the bitrate line would go flat and then just crater. It would just fall off a cliff. I am currently looking at my bitrate line going up and down from baseline to below baseline, and it freaks me out every single time I see it, because that was the indication before of dropped frames. I'm dropping no frames. I think it's just something with like the way that the bitrate is stable when I'm providing a much higher bitrate now than I was before. Yeah, it's a thing. Be careful with the use of the word mesh. I mean, that's literally what they're called, so I don't know. That's all I know about. It's something regarding that. You figured out what was causing internet issues seemingly once a month at the studio. You had really old equipment that was carrying too many signals. Cable guy fixed and simplified everything. No drop packet since. There's fiber in houses nearby, and basically connection on the other side of the road is waiting for you. But apparently the municipality hasn't been able to get hold of. Ugh, that's pain. That is misery. I'm literally one of the requirements to me moving to to Twig and I moving to where we did was that I have access to fiber. That was a requirement. That was a hard requirement. And yeah. We made sure to check. Cause it's always like is fiber available at this address? Cause I've had fiber for, oh God, almost a decade now? I can't go back. There's no going back. You can't just, yeah. You turned me up to 360 and Twitch crashed. I think that's Twitch going, you know what? Screw you in particular. Yeah, screw you in particular. I hope your internet issues get better. I know that we've been yapping about internet problems for like the last 20 minutes, but it's fine. I'm just like, at least they're not mine this time, because I've had my fair share, and it's one of the worst feelings as a streamer is when you have all of these plans and you have all these things that you want to do and you have all of this other stuff and you're like, cool, I have this event that's happening. And I'm dropping 40% of my frames. I guess I'm not doing that event. Thanks, internet. It's great. It's great. It's great. It sucked. I was so ready for that April Fool's stream. I feel so bad for everybody in that raid train that got held up because of me having internet problems. It's just like, it's just misery. You had a similar setup in the previous house, got it sorted decently quickly. You figured it'd be the same situation. Yeah, I mean, we didn't technically have fiber when we signed the lease here, but we knew we were a couple weeks out, and we knew because we'd talked to the internet people that we could get them to come out and hook up fiber in this place. It was in the range of people that could do the fiber stuff. It was like that was a whole, we had it worked out, and we knew that it was possible and that it would get done almost immediately. Once the yap starts, you can't stop it. It's like an avalanche. Well, yeah, that's the whole point of the icebreaker, is that the yap just never ends. It's never ending. It's a never ending yap. You're stuck with this forever. Yes, the vengeance. Which I still need to get fixed. I think Rue is out of town this weekend. I need to poke Rue on that. I get it, Wolf. But no, I also have so many things to say about the internet in particular because of all of the issues that I had earlier this year. It colors, it's not like a productive, oh, I can help you solve things. I can't help you solve anything. There's no help to be found here, but there is commiseration. I understand your problems when it comes to internet things, and I feel for you. I understand. I can empathize. I'm doing well. How are you? But no, it's like, I don't know. It feels like, especially for if somebody is on Twitch as a viewer or as a streamer, you just want stability. You just want to be able to watch the stuff that you want to watch. You want to be able to click on somebody's stream and go, cool, they're doing interesting things. Or whatever, like, you just want to be able to go and watch for as long as you feel like watching and not have issues. So the second that you have issues, it's just like, this shit again? Yeah. The pretty rural area, you guess it's older land property? That's fair. Okay, so that is a thing, is that fiber becomes much more sporadic as you leave cities. It's one of the other reasons I will never not live in a city. This is not a big city I'm living in, but I will never not live in a city because I need to be connected with people. I am no you to the internet problems. Yeah. I need my amenities. I need my coffee shops. I need my people around. I need to... Yeah. It was also a requirement. Like, I will never live outside of a city. It's just a thing. Like I said. I don't think I ever fixed the vengeance emote. The vengeance redeem. I don't think I ever fixed that. So that's gonna be a thing. Also, this is, I guess, less relevant, but kind of relevant. I believe I have fixed the problem that happens with the throne redeems just stopping working halfway through stream because my shit disconnects. I think I have fixed that. We'll see this stream if that's true. Maybe, but I think I fixed the problem. So hopefully we don't have that. We don't have like the every stream I see somebody redeem something, it doesn't go off, and I go, give me a sec. Because it was like every single stream. Turns out, updating the program is a good thing. It is a solid thing to do, is to update the programs that you're using. Unless it's OBS. Don't update OBS. Don't do that. Or your drivers. Don't do that either. Unless you have to. I had to update my drivers to do the vertical mode. But, like, yeah. Every time I see an OBS update, I'm just like, no. What if I don't do that? Unless it's like sometimes where you have to, obviously. I also love the most recent OBS update is like, we're no longer providing support to this thing. Use an earlier version. And that's the update. Like, is that an update? I don't understand. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's silly, I suppose. You're new to the YouTube, so I don't update OBS. OBS? Okay, so updating OBS has a habit of breaking your things. Either because there's some amount of bugs that do things, or because they just change shit for no good reason. And what ends up happening is that you update OBS, and then you go to do the things that you normally do, and they just stop working. Yeah, that's it. That's how that works. It's not great. You're pretty much the opposite. You love having less people around. Luck coverage is mostly good in Sweden. You're waiting on you're waiting on a government approval. Well, see you next year, I guess. I mean, I don't know how quickly, especially local governments, can be like super hit or miss, because some of them are on top of their shit and some of them are not. So depending on which one you have, can decide a lot of things. But no, I mean, I'm a city girl through and through. I've always lived in cities, and I do enjoy the kind of getting away and vibing outside of the whatever, but that's what my house is for. If I want to get away from people, I just go in my room, whether it's my stream room, my bedroom, my house room, like, I don't know. Some are mini Mamdani and others are HOA 2.0. That's so true. That is a great way of putting it, where it's like some are like, all right, cool, we're getting shit done. And some of them are like, how can we nickel and dime you and not do anything at the same time? It's great. It's great. One of the things at my old house, the HOA actually did shit, which was nice. But I know of a lot of cases where that is not the case. The amount of a pretty good friend of mine has this problem here, and it's like, why does your 8-person HOA hate you? And the answer is because screw you, that's why. We don't know. It's so silly. Any back to school tips for high schoolers? I'm debating whether to give a troll answer or not. But I'm gonna give the correct answer and go hang out with people. Hang out with people. Hang out with your friends. Don't go back! God dang it, Casser! The focus. Pay attention as much as you can. But yeah, social aspect is honestly more important. Like, legitimately, learning the important part, and this is something that I've learned from pandemic. The most important thing they teach you in school is nothing that they teach you in school. The most important thing they teach you in school is how to be a good human being. And the way that you learn that is by being with people, is by being a lizard. You know, I agree. Yes. Hi, Ruby. But no, it's legitimately yes, learn your math, learn your history, learn your whatever. Like, cool, okay, cool. Yeah, you do that. But learn how to be a reasonably decent human being, and you learn that by effing around and finding out in high school and in middle school and in college, but like especially in like early to middle high school, that's when you do your most effing around and finding out. High school has thus been way better than middle school, so you have high hopes for this year? Good. No, middle school was ass. Straight up, full stop, no questions. Middle school sucked. Middle school's real bad. High school was fine. And then, like, senior year was amazing. So, like, yeah, that kind of tracks. It goes from being the worst thing ever to, this is fine, to, oh, this is a lot of fun and I'm gonna miss everybody. I did go back for my 10-year reunion, and I don't think they had a 15. But I don't know. I'm not on Facebook anymore. So, yeah. You hit your stride junior year of high school. You were the weird kid everybody liked. Your senior year. That's basically me. Like, legitimately, I think it was, like, middle of the way through junior year is when it was one of those, like, oh, okay. I understand vaguely who I am now. And so, therefore, I'm just going to do... learn how money, the law, and living alone works? Yes. Thankfully, I've always been decent in terms of, like, money and whatever stuff, so that's not been an issue, but I don't ascribe that to school. But I ascribe none of those three things to high school. I ascribe one of those things to growing up in a household, another one of those things of being able to critically read, and another one of those things by having a job. So, like, none of those things came from high school, but, yeah. You'll never see the new one, but you're bro. Well, that's how I felt about my school, where it was like, there was one of the buildings was getting completely overhauled while we were there, and it was honestly wild to go back to after the fact, or like even like driving past it recently and being like, holy shit, there's so many buildings here now. It's all there. You were the debatably gay person once you were a senior. Yeah, that's... The fun part is when you can do that and embrace it. Hold on. Sorry, crap in my throat. Hi, Alex. Is when you can get labeled as something like either, I would say negative, but it's usually a mix of negative and silly, and you embrace it and you turn it into, hell yeah, that's who I am. It's when you stop fighting it that everything becomes better. You stop, because the second you stop fighting those kinds of things is the second you stop taking yourself seriously, which is a thing that most people need to learn how to do. Stop taking yourself seriously. Just be dumb, be cringe, be silly. Yeah. You embrace the gay side of you now, you're bi and your wife knows it, but you did use it to mess with people. That was fun in a Catholic school. Oh no. Oh no. You're a little worried about being late because the new building's an hour away compared to the half hour. That, for a high school and not having, like, actual transportation to it is crazy. That's wild. I was in public school, but I knew that all the private schools around here also had their own buses. So the idea of, oh, I'm using public transportation to get to school is actually insanity. Is actual insanity. You have good buses in your city? That's good. That's good. I don't know. That, like, when I went to college, the buses were good at that school, but in high school and stuff, I would have never trusted the public buses in that city to get me anywhere that I needed to go. I wouldn't trust them now, and it's been 20 years. Like, it would not, absolutely not. It's not good. Your sister was the fun autist in high school. The goth kids adopted her. If you get adopted by the goth kids, you've done something right. It's like there's two groups of people that if you were adopted by them, you have done things right at some point in your high school career. One is the goth kids, and two is the band kids. If the band kids like you, you done good. Because there is not a group of people that take themselves less seriously than band dorks. Hi, that would be me. To the surprise of literally no one here, considering I played saxophone in my debut, although granted, I feel like most of y'all haven't seen that, but considering I literally played saxophone in my debut, I was obviously a band kid. Obviously a band kid. All the way through. I did competitions, I did all district, I did all state, I did everything. As an alt band kid, yes. Double yes. And it's like there are different parts of the band that all mean different things in terms of if you were adopted by them, what does that mean? If you were adopted by percussion players, you probably lack all of the brain cells, but you're probably also the silliest, stupidest person on the planet, in which case, good. If you were adopted by the brass players, especially the low brass, there's a certain amount of, what's the best way of putting it? It's not that like, you're the kind of like obnoxious silly kid, which is not a bad thing, but it is a thing. It is a fact of existence. If you get adopted by like the wind section, the woodwinds, you're probably just like a cool person, or like the trumpets or something. If you get adopted by the flutes, that's something different entirely, but we're not gonna go there. And this is all from experience. I am musical through and through, and I saw all of it. And I saw all of it multiple times because the gap between myself and my brother is significant. And so I saw it all again as I was an adult when he was going through high school. I'm like, yup, this is exactly the same. At a different school, at a different time in existence. Yeah. You're a clarinetist, but your two main band friends are a flautist and a French horn player. Your girlfriend plays low brass. Girls in the low brass section, I feel bad for y'all. Because you have a bunch of, usually it's a bunch of like really, it's not never problematic. Not usually. It's a bunch of weird dudes that are just being weird. And not in a bad way, usually, but it's like, they're just, it's a low brass stereotype for a reason. It's exactly how it goes. I love band. I gladly did marching band for 4 years. It's just like there's something. Low brass trans girl. Yeah. You feel bad for her. I wouldn't. She'd be surrounded by the weird of the weird, but it's a good weird. It's not like the alt kind of weird, because that's usually in like, they're usually in different sections. But you get low brass is a place. I don't know. No, I love band. I did it for my entire schooling career. I still am friends with a bunch of people from high school band, even though I haven't talked to most of them recently. It's one of those, if they get in touch, we'll be in touch. But that's how I am with a lot of things. It's always funny hearing about the different cliques in school as someone who grew up homeschooled. I think it's one of the biggest things about being homeschooled that's unfortunate is that you don't get the social aspect. I mean, like what I said earlier is literally the thing that's most important about school isn't whatever you learn. It's not the book learning. It's not the class learning. It's literally being with people. It's being with other people your age, doing stupid things with other people your age, and realizing these stupid things are good, these stupid things are not. Like that is the point of school. And I feel like people that are homeschooled miss out on that, and it's unfortunate. You might technically get a better education, but like it's, I don't know. I'm a public school kid. That was me. And so, yeah. You learned as a friend's lore about their ensemble characters. That would be... I feel like... Oh my gosh. I feel like that would be phenomenal. That would be so silly, though. Like, so silly. But that's also the point. This is the entire point of something like that, is to have something incredibly dumb and incredibly silly as your backstory. Sexually active pancakes. Yep. Yup. Those are problems. Interesting problems, but problems. Also, welcome back from ads. There were ads playing, but there are so many of y'all that have subs at this point that I'm like, yeah, most of you. It's like, we just keep going. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it all comes back to high school is fun, but the social aspect is the most important part. So, it's a question of like, where you get that from. Do you get that from just like normal classmates? You get that from friends? You get that from band? You get that from sports? It's like there's a whole wide range of different stuff that you can do with that. But it's interesting. It's fun. I'm also a long way removed from that. It's been a bit. So things might also be very different now. I don't think they are. From everything I've heard, it sounds like it sounds like there's not that much that's different. You were fighting for your life, learning how to socialize as an adult. I mean, it's kind of the thing about like the joke about like repressed homeschoolers or repressed like people that went to like a Catholic school or whatever. They get to college and they go nuts because they have no contact with anything that resembles the real world. Whereas school, at least in my opinion, school is supposed to look like the people that you're eventually going to work with. It's supposed to look like the community that you're a part of. It's supposed to look like all of that. And if you have no social context, you've never learned how to do the right thing. You've never learned. I don't mean that in the sense of like you don't know right from wrong, but you don't know how to acclimate to social norms or even just adjust to new things that you've learned, or like understand that there aren't people, not everyone is like you. It's the most important thing, and it's also a really important thing. I am from the south of the US, which is very well known for not being great about a lot of social things, and I grew up in the south in the aughts where it was especially bad. And so like there's an element of like, yes, I had access to people that weren't like me, but I also never really saw anybody enough not like me that it was kind of a thing. It was kind of like after after I went to college, and I was dating my ex, and one of my ex's, two of my ex's best friends were gay, and I was like, that's the first time I'd seen anyone that was LGBT, or that I'd like actively conceptualize that that was a thing. It was after I went to college. It was just one of those like, huh, I see. Huh. Hi, Greg Malcolmus. Hi, Nelly. How are y'all? Enjoy your lurks. You're fighting for your life, learning to socialize as a latest diagnosed autistic high schooler? I mean, yeah, but at least you're having the opportunity to do so. Better catch me! Okay. Do I have a... I don't know what that emote is. Eto apparently has a grab emote, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use the grab emote. I don't have the hook hands emote where it's just like grabby hands. Thank you for the 5 cheese cheek. But no, it's like at least you are having the opportunity of fighting for your life now instead of fighting for your life when you should already know what you're doing. Or, and by say should already know, it's a very everyone learns at their own pace. But having more opportunities to do so helps you greatly in the long run, even if it's in the case of being autistic or ADHD or some other form of LGBT whatever, and you aren't comfortable being open about it. Even just learning how to mask is something that is super, super, super important. I don't know how to do this. Why is Eto's grab a nut grab? I don't know. You ask her. This also kind of tracks, actually. It kind of tracks. Oh, it's called Saga now. So, sorry, I'm phlegmy apparently. Back in my day, I was not a part of this because I didn't know I was gay then. But it was GSA for us. It was Gay Straight Alliance. So Sexuality and Gender Alliance. That's cool. Evie era. I mean, I am well into my 30s. Like this is known here. This should not be news to anyone. That said, I am into my 30s, but I also don't think I act anything close to it, and ow. And in terms of my knowledge of a whole lot of things, I missed out on a lot. Isn't the VTuber meme of 30 plus equals hack? I think it is, but at the same time, more and more VTubers are just over 30, and so I don't know how much that actually holds. Or maybe it still holds, but now it's just entirely joking. It was QSA in elementary and GSA in middle. You've seen it all. That's fair. GSA for us back in the day was Gay Straight Alliance, because apparently trans people didn't exist in the aughts. They did, but apparently they didn't. It just wasn't a... I think that was the period of time where it's people are wrapping their heads around the fact that being gay was okay, that that's just a thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, and whatever. And then it had to take an extra few years to have the extra step of the whole gender thing is also a thing that you need to kind of wrap your heads around, and whatever. Yeah. You had a substitute say that once. He wasn't great about it. Yeah, I'm not surprised by this. Not surprised by this. More and more over 40. No, it's true. And it's good. It's talking about LGBT things here and age things here. It's I don't want to say, like, leading up to me starting streaming, I was worried about my age being a problem, but I was kind of worried about it. I was kind of worried about, like, oh, you're in your 30s, so therefore you're... I think there are a lot of YouTubers that are in their 20s, but there's also, and a lot of streamers in general, but there's also just a lot of people that are older than that. There's a lot of millennials that stream. There's a lot of people older than millennials that stream. And so, like, the normalization of your age does not freaking matter is important. Aside from... And I know that there's at least one of you that is under 18 here. And so I say this as lovingly as I can. If you're under 18, do not stream. That is the limit. You don't get to do this if you're under 18. I mean, you can, but don't. Just don't. But beyond that, everything good. There's one of the members of the Dragon Council is, I think, in her 60s. Dragon Dispatcher is well into her 60s, and it's really damn cool. Like, the fact that she is actively streaming is freaking amazing. Like, yeah. You're still harboring negative feelings. Well, if you're harboring negative feelings about not playing Batman, and you exercise those negative feelings by paying me money, I'll allow it. I will allow you to have these negative feelings. I'm not going to do anything about them, but I will allow them. Hi, Zach. Like, you're approaching retirement. I mean, like, there's no reason that streaming can't be a thing that you do as a retirement hobby. Like, there's actually no reason. You have to obviously have energy, but, like, imagine these stories and the interesting kind of stuff that you can do as somebody of that age as a streamer. There has to be a gigantic untapped niche for that kind of content. There has to be. But you have to have somebody who's tech savvy enough to be able to actually do that, and that's, you know, and you also have to, it's not just that, it's also so much work to get a stream to the point where you can fill that niche that it's difficult. Have the free time? No, 100%. And there shouldn't be a stigma against them for doing so. But at the same point, it's like, well, I mean, streaming is definitely a young person's game, and it's becoming less that as time has gone on, but yeah. People don't just die and disappear after 30. We're still here, yeah. And there's a lot of stuff where you're sighing about grandmother's remarks about stuff. And she's from Uruguay. I mean, yeah. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's because it's like some relatively conservative countries don't have issues with it, but then some very aggressively do. And it all comes down to education and visibility of queer people, of gay people, of honestly different people. It's not even necessarily like specifically gender related or specifically sexuality related, or it's like ADHD people get it rough in a lot of places. Wait, shocker? Yes, there are, in fact. Yeah. One of your favorite YouTubers, Candy Mima, she unironically has one of the most wholesome communities you've seen. I feel like that would be I'm not surprised by this. Not surprised in any way, shape, or form by this. It feels like it would be eminently interesting, and also just like it gives you, I don't know, it just kind of, it provides something that isn't super, especially from some people that who don't necessarily have that, like that. There's got to be a large chunk of people who would really benefit from having that. Wasn't there a grandma that streams Skyrim? I believe so. I mean, there's obviously small instances here. I'm just surprised it isn't more pervasive. I'm surprised that there aren't more, where it's like we look at somebody who is in their 60s streaming and go, wow, that's wild, and as opposed to somebody who's streaming in their 60s and we go, cool, they're a cool person, go check them out. This old gay people chat is great. Let's play Batman. But we can, but we're here to play Donkey Kong Country, and by here to play Donkey Kong Country, I mean we're here to yap for another infinity. We're here to yap forever. We'll yap until we're done yapping, and then we'll play Donkey Kong Country and bash our head against that game for 3 hours or something. DKC has hands. I did not give that game credit enough for just how mean that game is. It is very mean. But yeah. But no, I think in general, like, and I think this is, I don't know, it feels like it's one of those, like, there's a lot of young people that stream, and I think a lot of young people that stream look at older people that stream, and I'm not talking about older as in like my age, I'm talking about older as in much older than me, and go, why are you here? And that's just a very counterproductive, it's a very destructive way of looking at things, where it's like, they have every right to be here that you do. Content creation is a young person's game, but that is not because it's a young person's game. It is a young person's game because there's a whole bunch of young people doing it. That said, you do see more and more older people doing content creation now, so it is filtering in, it just isn't filtering into Twitch. And maybe that's a Twitch problem. Like, Twitch has its problems, obviously. We've talked about them here plenty, but like, yeah, I mean, it might be a Twitch problem, a Twitch community problem, a Twitch visibility problem. I don't know. She just uploaded on YouTube, but she stopped doing it because only kids replied, didn't have conversations or comments. She felt like she lost the human connection, got bored. Yeah, I mean, and that kind of goes to what I was saying about, like, it is hard to get your stream going to a point of being able to realistically have conversations with your stream, with your viewers. It's one of the things that I'm, like, legitimately blessed with, is that when I hop on and do one of these yap sessions, bunch of y'all are here yapping right along with me, and so I can bounce off of you guys to just have a conversation for, 2 hours, and eventually I get to things that I want to talk about. Eventually I will talk about, like, the movie nights coming up and the shorts that I have put out and stuff like that. Like, eventually I'll get to that, but for now we're just talking, we're just vibing, we're just enjoying ourselves. And for me to be at a point where I can do that took a shitload of work and a lot of streams that did not look like this. It's a thing, like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I can stream. It's like, yeah, you can. Can you put in the hours to punch through having 4 viewers, all of which are lurking? Can you do that? Because that's hard. That's miserable. It is painful. If you can, hell yeah. But I don't know. And to go through that, and especially as somebody completely out of the demographic, as what is quote-unquote expected, because then you get kind of discriminated against as, like, why are you doing this? Both from people on the platform and from your peers. And then it's like, it becomes overly difficult, and like, why would you put yourself through that? I don't blame people, but I also am like, oh, y'all shouldn't act like that. You as viewers, and not like you as in my viewers, but like the general Twitch ecosystem should not act like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just lucky to have y'all, and I thank all of y'all for being here. Basically every stream, y'all are phenomenal. All like in the last week, the amount of gifts and the amount of bits and the amount of all of that stuff that I've got, like, y'all, I deserve none of this, but thank you so much for bestowing it upon me and this entire community, because like all the gifted subs, all the people that have subs now, like y'all are amazing. Yeah. The long yaps definitely only start when I mean it's yeah. I mean I have that from time to time where it's like I will start yapping. It usually doesn't happen on Mondays. Like the Monday the icebreaker streams, y'all know what you're getting. And so I see. I mean, I look at the analytics, I see what the chat numbers are like. For the 2 hours that I do these icebreakers, the amount of chat interaction here is insane. Y'all don't stop. Y'all are yapping with me. y'all are here doing your thing. But it's like when I'm not necessarily doing that, when I'm starting with like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a yappy yap and then I'm gonna go play a game. Sometimes there isn't a whole lot going on, and I'm like, all right, cool, I've said what I need to say, and I'll go play the game now. It happens less and less, which is why my streams are starting later and later. Like, me playing the games are starting later and later into the streams. I posted in my Discord the HoloLive chart of streamers that start playing game, whatever they're supposed to be doing, the latest, and literally no one's surprise, Mayoshi, Cecilia Evergreen, should explain things, is the latest to start. Followed immediately by one of my other favorites in HoloLive, Gigi Murin, because they both yap endlessly before the game starts. Like, you wonder where I get it from. You wonder why I spend 40 minutes every stream just shooting the shit with people. Yeah. But yeah, it all comes back to like the amount of effort that it takes to get to this point is a lot. And if you're constantly being told no, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself through that? I mean, granted, I think most of us are constantly being told no, mostly because growing is hard. Growing is difficult on Twitch, and it takes a certain amount of sociability and a certain amount of whatever, and like, if you're not gonna go the let's go viral route, the slow and steady plot is very slow and sometimes not very steady. Trust me, I know. You wonder if you could watch Evie at more than 160p? Well, there's only one way to find out. But no, I mean, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's interesting. It's a thing. And yeah, long story short, thank y'all for being here and letting me yap to everyone, because it's really nice. It's nice. I enjoy having people to yap with, and y'all make this stream just as much as I do. Just as much as I do. I mean, I'm the one that clicks the start streaming button, but you know what I mean. Speaking of which, parry it. Yeah. Is that your way of going no you? Speaking of which, though, I did put out a new short today. Y'all should definitely check it out. I definitely did not commit crimes while producing this short. It's great. It is courtesy of Mari's name on Friday, but it is also a phenomenal short in my opinion. So yeah, go check that out. I posted that earlier today. If you're not already following me or subscribed to me on YouTube, you should consider doing so. It's right there. Evie Sylkas VT, do it. Also join my Discord. If you are not a part of Discord, go do that. Because what we're also doing is a whole bunch of community things in like the next 2 months. It's gonna be like non-stop community events, and I apologize to anybody who might get like fatigued by the sheer amount of community shit that I owe all of you, and it is literally me owing you. You paid for all of this. The Commander Night, yep, you paid for that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, yep, you paid for that. The Pokemon Movie Nights, yep, you paid for that. The Archipelago, yep, you paid for that too. Like, I owe all of this to you, so I apologize if there is like seemingly a glut of these events, but it's your fault. In the end, it's your fault. It's my fault for making them things, but it's your fault. It's actually my fault for not doing them sooner, but I think you can forgive me for needing to take 2 months, mostly of a break, to move. YouTube suggested it once you open YouTube. Good. It is excellent. But yeah, check that out. All right, let's actually check schedule for this week. Let's talk about schedule. Since we are talking about schedule and like community events and stuff, let's go over here because there is an event on Saturday, and I'm just gonna start with that. Hold on. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. There is an event on Saturday, and I'm looking for my graphic. There it is. For those of you who do not know what Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series is, you deserve to know what Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is. It is, in my opinion, one of the greatest pieces of internet media ever made, ever produced, and also Little Cremo's adorable. She is the cutest little bean. And so we're gonna watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge this weekend. This is going to be on Saturday. I have an event in my Discord. It's right there. The link is literally right there behind my horn. We're gonna be watching it Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So at like normal Pokemon movie night, normal movie night time, we're gonna be doing this. That is going to be Saturday. So I will post an announcement about it a little bit later this week. Be there. This is legitimately, I think, one of the greatest creations on the internet, period. We're gonna watch a bunch of them. It's gonna be, I'm reserving a 2-hour block. We will just crank through them. You will hear all of the silliness, all of the stupidity, and everything that makes fun of 4 kids. Because I don't know, I grew up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The series. I grew up watching that. It was on WB on the weekends. That was my Saturday morning cartoons, was like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's what I watched. And so coming back and watching this, it's phenomenal. You guarantee you're gonna forget. You really want to, but you'll forget. I mean, if you're there, then you're there, and if you're not, then you're not. I cannot force anyone to be there, but I can strongly suggest it is worth it. Screw the rules, I have money. Or better, screw the rules, I have green hair. Wait, that was some weird drugs that we did that. Shut up, Mokuba. What a digital dummy. I use. If y'all don't know, a lot of the references that I make that really aren't references, they're just parts of my speech. Most of them come from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridged. So if you want a backstory, if you want a loose backstory on Evie that has nothing to do with Evie, watch it, because it is. I'm like thinking about it now. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything I say has something, like all of the things that I say came from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridged. The children's card game, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridged. The What a Digital Dummy, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridged. Screw the rules, I have money, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridged. It is, on and on and on and on. So yeah, be there. It's worth. A lot of yours came from DBZ Abridged. No, I feel like a lot of people have like the one abridged show that they watched, and that is like a formative experience, and they get all of the shit from it. Because I know that there's some people that watch Sword Art Abridged that have the same thing that I do, except with Sword Art Abridged things. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. Hold on one sec. Yeah. No, Sword Art Abridged was also extremely enjoyable to watch. Hi, AG. Apple. You have a lot of vocabulary from DBZA, YGOTAS Abridged, and Hellsing Abridged. I also feel like you get into one or two of the abridged series, and then the other ones just don't hit the same. Whether it's because you didn't watch the subject matter, or because you've seen the other abridged and you're like, oh, well, not necessarily I know what to expect, but like there's just something that just doesn't hit quite the same. I felt that way about DBZ Abridged. In the couple episodes that I watched of it, I was like, oh, what am I doing here? Could be watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Could be watching that for the 4th time. But instead I'm over here doing this other thing. I'm like, I don't need to do any more of that. But no, I feel like either way, we're watching this on Saturday. I highly recommend you be there. It'll be it'll be fun. This is the perfect thing for all of my yappy snarkiness during movie nights. My numbers are higher than yours. This is the perfect thing for all of the yappy snarkiness that I exude normally, but like especially in movie nights where I make fun. If you haven't been to a movie night, I make fun of basically everything in every one of these movies. I am the peanut gallery, and I apologize not at all, because y'all know, like, at least I'm not saying it out loud. If you don't want to listen, you just don't have to have chat up. Easy. You can just watch the movie in silence, and it's cool. But I think it's far more fun to talk shit on the movie that you're there to watch. I don't know. That's just me. I don't do this IRL, but I do it online. So yeah. Yeah, be there. So that'll be on Saturday at 4. There is an event in my Discord. Not sure I've actually made an announcement for it, but if I haven't, it's definitely in my schedule. Hi, Esther Rosa. Thank you for 3 stream streak. Waldorf and Statler, your favorite Muppets, so you enjoy the Pinnacle? Exactly. Great. It's great in moderation. It's great when you know what you're signing up for. It's not great when you can't get away from it, or when it's just excessive. But in the correct quantity and the correct level of bullshitty kind of snarkiness, yes, it's perfect. But yeah, you just noticed that it's not on the schedule. As long as you keep paying me, Batman will not be on the schedule. Batman probably won't be on the schedule for a long time anyway, but thank you for the 10 bits. Thank you, Zach. But yeah, today, so that is on Saturday, but we'll come back to that later. Today, obviously, we're ice breaking. We're yapping. We're an hour and a half in. We just got to the schedule. So, you know, a normal icebreaker. Will you ever be rewarded for being a founder? I mean, I don't know. You currently don't have the founder badge, so who would know if you're... I'm baiting you into subbing, so I'm just gonna stop. You're allegedly a founder. No, you are a founder. I kicked... Okay. I can't remember why exactly this happened, but my alt account that I have Amazon Prime for ended up accidentally being a founder. I kicked that as a founder, and 5B is now a founder. So So if 5B's here, whenever he gets here, or they usually lurk. It's like the here from time to time, lurks from time to time. But like, they are now a founder. They are the 10th founder. I thought that I had used up all the founder badge points, and I just didn't. I hadn't yet, so. Kiryu-chan! Holy shit, 115! Hi, Ref, and thank you for the 115 stream streak. That's so many. That's so much stream. But yeah, so today we're icebreakering. After we are done yapping, whatever that may be. If that's in 30 minutes, cool. If that's in an hour and a half, I would have set a new record, but cool. Whenever we're done yapping, we will play more Donkey Kong Country. We got, I want to say, a little over halfway through the game last time. But we also ran into one level that stonewalled us for almost an hour. So I can't promise that we will finish the game today and get to actually retro achievement hunting. But if we do finish Donkey Kong Country 1, we will do RA stuff. I'm at 42% completion, so I think we're a chunk over half. Was that the minecart level? Actually, the minecart level was fine. The minecart level that was my short on Friday, which y'all should also go check out. That one was more just like silly jump scary kind of. But no, that minecart level actually was not too bad. It took a few tries, but it's a minecart level, and those fly. Those go by so fast because you can't stop. You have to just go. And yes, I successfully completed Snow Barrel Blast by accidentally finding the shortcut. That was how I won that level. It was great. It was definitely intentional, and I definitely didn't waste like 30 lives and a whole bunch of game overs on it. Me just accidentally jumping too far as a kid and going, ooh. Yeah, no, that's basically what happened. Is I missed my jump and I got rewarded for it. I jumped diagonally up instead of directly to the right, and I was rewarded. And now I know. Never play that level legit again, because that level sucks. That level is terrible. It is painful and miserable, and I do not like it. But yeah, so we're a little past that. We're still in the Gorilla Glacier, I think is the world, but we're kind of towards the end. Should you come back in 2048 for Batman? I feel like I'll probably play Batman before 2048. It might be 2046, but it'll definitely be before 2048. I will guarantee that. If I'm still streaming in 20 years, holy shit, I've done something right. For one, because that means that the world still exists in 20 years, which means that we collectively did something right. And also, yeah, I'm still here. But yeah, I'll be right back. I'm marking my calendar. Good, you do that. But you really don't know when I'll play it, so you just have to keep coming back just in case. Just in case. But yeah, so that's today. We'll be doing more of that. I am looking forward to doing more RA stuff. We did a few achievements. Nothing super difficult, but we did a few, and did some of that. It's like Chinese water torture that you signed up for. I would say you knew what you were getting into when you started frequenting this stream, but I don't think you did. I don't think you did. Like, Oh, Evie streams. That's cool. We'll go bother her. It's like, oh no, she's problems. But yeah, so we'll do TKC, and if we beat the game, then we'll start doing retro achievements. If we do not beat the game, we'll beat the game next time, and then start doing retro achievements. But that'll be today. Tomorrow, I will be back. We'll have a Tuesday stream. My other stream for the week is on Tuesday this week. We'll be playing Elden Ring. I have not decided what I am doing in Elden Ring yet. We beat most of Farum Azula last time. We got through the Godskin duo. We got basically all the way to the end of the area, at least as far as I can tell, the end of the area last time. So we might continue and do like a boss fight there, and then pivot and maybe go back to the Hailing Tree or back to the DLC. I haven't decided yet. I'll figure that out tomorrow. But we'll be doing more stuff. We are super late game, and now is the time for me to show that I have learned anything at all at any point in the game. Or not. Odds are I won't, but we can say that we will. But yeah, so Elden Ring will be tomorrow. And then Friday, we'll be back with more Pokemon Tectonic. I have thought a little bit about how I want to do this. How I want to Nuzlocke that game, because I am concerned about the feasibility of that particular Nuzlocke, but I'm also concerned about doing the thing where it's like you get your Mons back after every gym. Also feels like you're losing the like danger of Nuzlocking, because it's like part of the thing is like the Mon dies, it's gone forever. But I also don't want to be like, no, if we lose it, it's just gone, because the game is unforgiving and we can't keep things alive very well. So I might come in with a kind of provisional-ish rule set that we might tweak on the fly. It might depend on how bad the second gym was, because we got through the first gym actually fine. The one fight that we had problems with was outside the first gym. That was an optional that I had no idea was as problematic as it was. Should have known better. Didn't know any better, and so I got my ass handed to me. That is the only wipe that we've had, and so I kind of took that as I don't feel like leveling up all of my shit, so that one's not gonna count. And maybe it's literally we get one wipe for free or something like that. Like there's a whole bunch of things that we can do that is like every time we wipe, we might have to lose Mons, and that those could be chosen randomly, those could be chosen by y'all, those could be like there's a lot of things that I can do with this, and they're probably all going to be miserable, but you know what? That's fair. That is also how Nuzlocking works. Can't wait till you Nuzlocke your hack. I feel like Nuzlocking that is not a good idea. Especially because it's not a hack meant for Nuzlocking, it's a hack meant for Ironmoning, unless the scope has changed. But yeah, Pokemon Tectonic, that said, Tectonic, cool game. It takes a lot of reading. It takes a lot of getting used to the new mechanics, and a lot of remembering what certain things do. But I definitely have liked it so far. I like that every mon basically gets double stab. That's really nice. Or like you get all of the stab that you want at basically any stage of the game. So it's like if it is a fire flying Pokemon, it is going to have both a fire and a flying move of its desired typing. Like of its desired like attack versus special attack. It's just going to have that. And so it means that you can play around that in a reasonable capacity. So it's really interesting in that regard, and also like the tribal natures, the tribal setups are also fascinating. They'd be more fascinating if I had the ability to do that, but I don't have enough mons of specific typings to do that. But as we catch more things, we may have literally like a team, a B team, like that might end up being a thing that happens as we go through the Nuzlocke, and like we kind of pick and choose replacements for the various things, and then we get everything back. I don't know, that's currently my thought, is that we have an A team that we will take as far as we can, and it refreshes every gym cycle, but that might not work. We'll see. I have, 4 days to figure that out, and I'm definitely not going to be busy over those 4 days doing things like, streaming or making shorts or doing my job. Like, yeah, of course we're going to have all the time in the world to figure this out. I'm going to probably figure this out on Friday. It's fine. And then, yeah, Saturday is Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge Watch Along. Go watch that. It'll be fun. Also, so that's scheduled for this week. I do want to start highlighting, though, this. I have not made an event for the Zoro arc, the Zoro arc movie yet. It will probably be in either 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not sure which. In either 2 or 3 Saturdays, we'll be watching another Pokemon movie. Because that's what we do around here, is we hang out and watch shit on weekends, apparently. That's a thing. If in doubt, join my Discord. If it seems interesting to you, join the Discord. And if you're already in the Discord, say hi or something. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll be watching the next Pokemon movie, which is the 13th Pokemon movie, Zoroark Master Evolutions. It is really hard for me to say Zoroark. Zoroark. It's fine. It is Master Evolutions. We'll be watching this one in a couple weeks. So yeah, be there. It'll be fun. Don't know literally anything about this. So, but Zoroark is cool, and it is perfect for, like, every edgelord in existence. So, yeah. Also, every furry in existence. It's like the perfect crossover of edgy plus furry that hits the maximum amount of people while also weirding out a perfectly normal amount of people. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it is the Zoroark movie, and we will be watching that in a couple weeks as the next installment in the Pokemon movie series. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm out of Pokemon movies to watch with y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna figure something out. But I don't know what's I'm gonna be so sad. I'm also gonna be so sad. Like, we're like 7 months away from being out of Pokemon movies. And granted, I might miss one here and there, but like, that's not very many. It felt like it was such a long list of movies. And now that I'm on like number 13 and numbers 14 and 15 are the same movie, it's like, oh shit, there's only 21 of them. Only 21 of them. I don't know, maybe we'll just watch the Pokemon anime or something. We can figure out some way of being stupid nerds. We'll figure something out. But I will be sad. Granted, what might end up happening, and this is currently my operative thought that I hadn't had before 2 seconds ago, is in a future subathon that will happen before the end of all of the Pokemon movies, I might have an incentive in there that might be relevant for this current dilemma that we're approaching. As a, like, an incentive to watch all the Pokemon movies, I'm in! No, that would be an incentive to watch all the Pokemon movies in a row, and you're stuck there for all of them. But no, I'll probably have some kind of an incentive, even if it's a, like, have incentive that makes a binding poll, or have an incentive that does, I don't know. There's a lot that I can do. And so, yeah, we will definitely have something that replaces the Pokemon movies when we run out of Pokemon movies to watch, but we're not there yet. We're a ways away enough that I'm not terribly concerned with it at the moment, but I am starting. I can see the little pinprick of light at the very, very, very end of the tunnel. I'm like, huh. That is rapidly approaching my location. Huh. I didn't think I'd get this far. Huh. But yeah, so that'll be fun. But for now, we have the Zoroark movie, and it'll be in a couple weeks. So be watching the announcements channel in my Discord for that, because I'm gonna post both of those, I think, at once. I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, like, actually announcing it, because I made the event and then didn't, like, really announce it other than in the schedule. So I'll probably announce that and announce the Pokemon movie all at once. We also have an Archipelago coming up, and I have not set dates for that, and I don't have a graphic for it yet. But the Snowstorm Archipelago is happening in probably September. I know there's another Archipelago that's happening at some point in September as well, and I can't remember who that is. It Katie's? Is Katie having another one, or is it somebody else? And is it some other? I can't remember. There's somebody else that is doing an Archipelago, and around the same time, I don't want to step on theirs, but I will step around it. And so once I know when those things are all happening, including the Dragon Council Archipelago, because the next Dragapelago is coming up in a couple months too. So there's a whole bunch of shit happening. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening, and I'm gonna work all of my things around all of that, and it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to Snowstorm Community Archipelago for quite a while now. It will, I believe, be async. So y'all do not need to be there right at the start. You do not need to, but I will be genning and streaming all of that stuff and have it on. I will have it on my channel. Yeah. If you like archipelagos, if you like randomizers, if you like my community, stay on the lookout for it. I know there's a lot of people that do around here, so yeah. But okay, so I think that is everything there. Let's head back to here. Go back to lobby so we have 5 minutes before ads play. I think we're at a good stopping point in terms of, like, I'm not going to yap through the ads. We'll just take our break and head into Donkey Kong. Before I do that, though, I mentioned this at the top of the stream, and I did say that I was going to reiterate this once we got deeper into the stream, once we have more people showing up and stuff. I am going to be depreciating my VIP redeem. The VIP redeem is going to go away. It will remain here at its current price for the next week. After that, it is gone. If you are someone that I have seen around here and has been saving up for VIP, shoot me a message and I'll see what I can do. I think personally it's going to be something that needed to be removed at some point anyway. So kind of ripping the band-aid off and just doing it now was a good thing. I have replaced it with 2 very expensive redeems that will permanently put a Pokemon or a Pokemon in the Throne Mon pool. So when you throw Pokemon at me, it will put a Mon into that pool, or a thing into that pool, so that you can do that. You can see your impact on the stream by clicking a different button. But yeah, those are very expensive. But on the other hand, you now don't have VIP to activate multiple times to burn 20,000 points, Mori. And Twig. I think Twig did that too. But yeah, so now you have redeems that'll help you. I think that's 40. I think I made it 40,000 and 75,000. Those numbers might come down a little bit over time, but I also wanted it to be very expensive as a, like, if you just have this much, there you go. You have an outlet for all of that. Obviously, I have veto power over the 75,000 point redeem, but the 40,000 or whatever that first one is, yeah, that's any Pokemon. If you want that in the pool, put it in the pool. Do it. What'd you miss? All of the things I announced, I don't know. Well, I'm like, what's the wrongest thing I could say? I'm getting rid of VIP. I'm getting rid of the VIP redeem. So if you have a giant pile of channel points, you have 2 extra redeems that you can use. If you already have VIP, you already have VIP. I'm not taking anybody's VIP away. If you have VIP, you have spent, in most cases, 20,000 channel points to get it. So therefore, yeah, I'm not taking that away, but I'm taking it away as a redeem and replacing it with something that is probably better and is probably more useful too, and is like more visible to most. So yeah, so we'll be doing that. So that's just of note, worth noting that is a thing that is happening. But also, I mentioned this before, but check out my short that came out. I will be taking a break here in just a moment. Also, I will do this for the 3rd or 4th time in this Yappy stream. This is mostly I'm going to break and I'm vamping on my way out. So yeah, also follow me in various social media places. I will be back after the break. Check out my short on the break, and we'll be playing some Donkey Kong Country after the break. And thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. And all the gifts and all of the generosity and the bits and all of that, like, holy shit, y'all. You're a bunch of rascals. You're a bunch of flurries, but you're a bunch of rascals. Anyways, I'll be back in 5. I will see y'all on the other side of the break. See you in a bit.